some early bands of freezing rain. We're seeing that quite well now in live Super Doppler radar. We'll show you where some of the heavier freezing drizzle and freezing rain is occurring right now as we zoom in just to the northwest of Des Moines around the Boxholm area, Jefferson, Boone, down toward the Madrid area. Work our way a little bit farther south as we head through the metro area and then down into southeast Iowa. Still picking up some accumulation of this. You can see this band of precipitation as we move down through Monroe and Pella is about 60 miles wide, and so for the next hour or two in these areas, they will be picking up the light precipitation in the form of freezing precipitation, and then later tonight we'll have mainly cloudy skies, and then as we head into later tonight after midnight toward about 2 in the morning, we do expect another round of this to move in and perhaps a little bit heavier than the first one. 27 will be the overnight temp, along with a freezing rain, freezing drizzle advisory pretty much statewide. Tomorrow's temps in the afternoon should warm up, and that'll help alleviate the problem, but the morning commute will be downright dangerous.
Another round, so it sounds like we get a double whammy.
Yes.
All right, thank you, John. Well, this icy weather is also affecting areas to the west of us right now.
That includes the Omaha Council Bluffs area. Our teammate coverage continues now with Jenny Vogelsberg. She joins us on the Omaha Live Link. Jenny, how do things look out there?
Oh my gosh, it is bitterly cold out here. Now let me tell you, we are under a freezing rain advisory right now, but fortunately the ice hasn't hit us here in Omaha. Farther out west, there are just tons of accidents out there. The ice is just terrible, but we shouldn't see it until about 8 o'clock. Now, our meteorologist tells us that the temperature should be warming up in the morning, so it'll just be rain, but for right now, we're getting ready for that ice just a couple hours away.
So are we, Jenny.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, the storm could result in schools being delayed or closing tomorrow, and some things closing tonight as well.
Right. If that happens, News Channel 8 will keep you up to date with the latest list of delays and cancellations. The list will be moving across the bottom of your screen, so stay tuned to News Channel 8 for the most complete winter storm coverage. New trial date has been set for a Marshalltown babysitter convicted of murdering a baby girl.
Mary Weaver will go on trial in February for the third time. She was convicted of killing 11-month-old Melissa Mathis in March of 1994. The state Supreme Court recently granted Weaver a new trial due to statements made by 3 new witnesses. Prosecutors say the child was fatally injured while in Weaver's care.
The trial date has been set for a Marshalltown babysitter convicted of murdering a baby girl. Mary Weaver will go on trial in February for the third time. She was convicted of killing 11-month-old Melissa Mathis in March of 1994. The state Supreme Court recently granted Weaver a new trial due to statements made by 3 new witnesses. Prosecutors say the child was fatally injured in Weaver's care. 2 Missouri men accused of killing 2 state fair workers will be tried for those crimes separately. Prosecutors say Jeremy Sneed tied up Bobby and Marilyn Bluer and shot them to death last August. Sneed's trial for the murders will be December 16th. Rodney Borashevsky, the Bluer's son-in-law, will also be tried for first-degree murder. His trial won't begin until January 6th. Prosecutors say they don't believe Borashevsky actually shot the Bluers, but they say he did know about the slayings. The state of Iowa is declaring war on the tobacco company.
The state says it is filing a lawsuit to try and recoup smoking-related medical costs.
And down at Combat Hunger, the temps sure are smoking hot, but donations are.
That's right. The food keeps coming in. We'll have a report coming up in just a few minutes right here on News Channel 8. Stick around.
Despite the fight to snuff them out, cigarettes are still burning here in Iowa. More people here are smoking them now than they did in the past 4 years. Despite the numbers, though, a new battle is brewing against smoking.
Later this month, the State Attorney General's office will file a lawsuit against tobacco companies. News Channel 8's Martin Augustine is in the newsroom to explain. Martin, what do the Attorneys General hope to accomplish?
Well, Iowa Attorney General Tom Miller wants tobacco companies to pick up some of the Medicaid and Medicare costs of treating diseases linked to tobacco and smoking. And if you want to know the cost of lighting up those cigarettes,
it increased
just ask A.J. Wineski of the Iowa Department of Public Health.
In Iowa, in 1990, the amount of money that was spent on direct medical costs associated to tobacco was $319 million.
It's Wineski's job to try and keep Iowans from smoking, and he believes if the state does file a lawsuit against tobacco companies, it'll help his job. The Attorney General will also argue that tobacco companies have misrepresented their products enough to commit consumer fraud. News of this lawsuit comes on the same day a report is out showing that more Iowans are smoking now than in the past 4 years. News of this lawsuit comes on the same day a report is out showing that more Iowans are smoking now than in the past 4 years. Wineski says that might be due to better surveying techniques by the Department of Health. but it also probably means that more people are just smoking more. And the long-term cost of that is expensive.
Costs a heck of a lot more, not only in money, but in, your life and the number of minutes you take off your life.
There's another report out today that says fewer people nationwide are dying of cancer, and that's primarily because nationwide, fewer people are smoking.
Martin, what else is Iowa doing about smoking?
Well, in January, you're going to see a statewide media blitz that's designed to both prevent young kids from starting smoking and convince those young smokers to stop.
The Great American Smokeout coming up in about a week, too.
That's right.
Thanks, Martin.
Well, our viewers, a lot of you have been turning out all day to help support combat hunger.
Jared Fitzpatrick and Jason Elliott have been out at Combat Hunger Camp all day, bundled up. They join us live now with a chilly update.
Yeah, it's been a cold one this afternoon, but a well worth the effort, I think, for Combat Hunger on day one.
We may have set a record first day. Already, we know for sure we have over 40,000 pounds of food. Considering last year we were able to raise just over 60,000, that is phenomenal.
That's right. They filled five-ton trucks. The National Guard did, sent it up to the Iowa Food Bank, so things off to a great start so far. Food, all sorts of non-perishable food items brought in, but in addition to that, you also bring in your cash donations. Just take a look inside here. This is the cash donation bin. It is chock full of money, and I tell you, that just does wonders. In addition to the food you can donate, $1 equals 2 pounds of food, so the cash works just as well.
And again, we just want to go over, it is non-perishable food items, things like macaroni and cheese that you're looking to bring. We had a woman come a little earlier today, and she had cleaned out her refrigerator and brought a lot of half-eaten things. And while the intentions were good, and her refrigerator is clean, it needs to be non-perishable and untouched for everyone to use later.
We're going to be back here once again tomorrow, but Kevin and Cynthia, a great start to Combat Hunger 1996, and better things tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Jason and Deirdre. I know a lot of us have a lot of things in our cupboards that we could pull out and certainly donate.
Sure.
Extended snow tires in there?
Well, we need to pull those out, too.
The folks down at Combat Hunger and everyone in general, I'm sure, would love to see all this stuff just kind of disappear, but doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Well, the freezing rain is going to end here fairly shortly, but it will stay accumulated on the roadways, and then a second round later tonight. We'll have the forecast next.
Meteorologist John McLaughlin has been awarded the National Weather Association's seal of approval for excellence in television weathercasting.
Well, we're looking at some slippery conditions outside as folks are trying to make their way home. A brief round of freezing rain has come in with temperatures right now hanging around 30 degrees. It is freezing on impact. Southeast winds at 16, gusting to 21. The wind chill is 8. In fact, we've had temperatures below freezing for several days in a row now. 18 the dew point, 60% humidity, and the barometer is falling at 3041 inches of mercury. Live Super Doppler radar right now continuing to show this band of freezing precipitation all the way through central Iowa, extending up through the Fort Dodge area, and some lighter precip just on the back side of it from Gowrie to north of Boxholm, as well as south of Boxholm, and then to the Madrid area. We are picking up quite a bit of freezing precipitation. You see the back edge of this now is from about Bagley to Lake City, so it'll be ending there. But as we mentioned earlier, more of this redeveloping later on in the night as we move a little bit farther to the south, down around Eddyville and Oskaloosa right now, picking up some fairly intense freezing precipitation, and then a little bit lighter as we get down south of Ottumwa. And again, the back edge here would be from about Centerville through the Sheraton area where it is ending. But again, later tonight, we do expect another round of this. Let's go ahead and check the maps for tonight. We have a freezing rain advisory. That is in effect for pretty much all of the state. We're looking at east central Iowa all the way back to the west, where temperatures will be dropping a little bit tonight. But we have warm air coming over the top of the cold air near the surface. It's raining through that and then freezing on impact. So basically anywhere in this area, travel will be on the difficult side for tonight. Southeast winds at around 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tomorrow, we'll deal with the freezing rain through the morning hours. By afternoon, some of that warmer air finally winds out and we'll get above freezing. And by afternoon, we should have mainly rain showers. But again, the morning hours could be quite dangerous across the region. 32 the high today, 17 early this morning. Right now, 30 in Ames, 27 in Marshalltown, 32 down the Ottumwa and Lamoni areas. So the entire state is at or below the freezing point right now. And around the central Iowa stations, the exception being Sheraton and Knoxville, around 34 degrees. But quite possible that many of the outlying areas are around freezing and experiencing some trouble right now. Ankeny at 30, Boone, as well as the Webster City area. To the satellite picture we go. We have cold air near the surface, and then we're bringing in all this warm, moist air over the top of that. Again, the precip is falling through and down into the colder air, freezing on impact. What we're having right now is just the first little system that is really broken off from the main one. It is still well out here to the west, and we're expecting a similar pattern through the nighttime hours, little chunks breaking off, traveling across Iowa, and giving us those rounds of freezing precipitation. So definitely pay attention tonight on into tomorrow. Here's the way the maps look right now. This entire area shaded in orange is where we are expecting the problems later on tonight into early tomorrow. Forecast shapes up like this for Des Moines and central Iowa. Freezing rain advisory. Southeasterly winds 10 to 20 and a low temperature of 27 degrees. For tomorrow, morning freezing rain turning to all rain during the afternoon, a high temperature of 42 degrees with gusty southeast winds. For tomorrow night, scattered showers 39, and the forecast for your Saturday, cloudy with showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder possible, 45 for the high, south winds 10 to 20, and it looks like it'll cool down again early next week. We're really not even getting close to normal. Temperatures will stay in the 30s and 40s, so quite messy tonight into early tomorrow.
Yeah, but then it's going to get a little bit warmer and clean things up a little bit, so to speak.
Yes.
Thank you very much, John.
Well, we all know the cost of health care is expensive, but it's even worse when you don't have insurance, which is the case for pet owners. Still, it's not unusual for veterinarians to perform surgery on animals that cost thousands of dollars. They can put pacemakers in, do hip replacements, even cataract surgery. See the extreme measures folks take when it comes to their pampered pets, as Jeanette Trumpeter continues her report tonight at 10. Girls high school volleyball got underway today.
Heidi Soliday has that story and more coming up in sports.
For up-to-the-minute weather information, day or night, call the News Channel 8 Super Doppler forecast at 262-7173, sponsored by The Rec Room. News Channel 8 Sports is sponsored by your local GMC dealer.
Before we get to the volleyball story, some breaking news in sports tonight.
That's right, just announced a little bit ago that Football News has named Troy Davis a first-team All-America in their December 1st issue. It's not on the stands yet, but we might as well say it now. It's on the wire, so congratulations, Troy. On to volleyball. Top-rated Grandview Park Baptist has made it to the semifinals of the high school girls state volleyball tournament. The event began this afternoon at the Five Seasons Center in Cedar Rapids. The defenders up against West Sioux of Hayward in Game 1, Jill McWilliams with the kill. That tied it up at 9 for Grandview. And then McWilliams will kill it again for the game. 15-11 defenders. In Game 4, the defenders up 2-1, and it's Jilly Bean to the rescue. McWilliams with the block, and that set up match point. The defenders move on to play Friday night with the 3-1 win, and it was a satisfying afternoon for Grandview coach Dick McWilliams.
The passing wasn't quite there, but when it was, we were doing fine, siding out and stuff. But just a couple of rotations, they had some tough servers.
Obviously, that was not Dick McWilliams, that was Jill McWilliams. And the defenders will face Trainer tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Trainer ousted Eldora New Providence in 4 games. Also in Class 1A, it was West Point Marquette over Schaller Crestland 3-1, and North Cassuth shut out Stanwood. There are a couple of 2A matches underway as we speak. That's Orange City against Jefferson Scranton and Wellman Mid-Prairie versus Carroll. And at 7:30 tonight, the 2A competition concludes. Both Iowa Falls and Davis County are in action. Unlike yesterday's race for the most valuable player in the National League, the AL competition was much more fierce. Juan Gonzalez of the Rangers outslugged Seattle's Alex Rodriguez in one of the tightest votes ever. Gonzalez received 1 more first-place vote and 3 more points than Rodriguez. And the stats for the winner, a .314 batting average with 47 homers and 144 RBIs. Cleveland's Albert Bell was 3rd. A 9-player trade between the Blue Jays and the Pirates today, with Toronto getting infielder Carlos Garcia, outfielder Orlando Merced, and pitcher Dan Klazak for 6 players, including 3 minor leaguers to be named later. And midnight tonight is not only the time that winter is supposed to hit, it's also the deadline for a new labor contract in Major League Baseball. If there is none signed, free agents will abide by the expired labor agreement of 1993. And the owner's chief negotiator has told acting commissioner Bud Selig he will quit if there's no agreement. On a night like tonight, wouldn't we all rather be in Hawaii? That's where the Grand Slam of golf wrapped up today. This is Tom Lehman knocking down the bird on 18 to go to 10 under. Lehman, the winner of the British Open this year. 2 strokes back was U.S. Open champ Steve Jones. Jones shown here at 18 with the great chip, which just misses for an eagle. The event brings together the 4 Grand Slam winners of the past PGA season. Nick Faldo was 3rd and Mark Brooks 4th. Faldo won the Masters, and Kevin Brooks won.
Well, I'm sorry.
The PGA Championship.
Oh, the PGA Championship. I'm sorry.
There we go. Guess we won't be golfing around here
I'm not paying
anytime
attention today, am I?
Thanks, Heidi.
We'll be back with a final look at your weather after this. Here's John with a recap of that wonderful forecast.
Okay, live Super Doppler radar right now is showing the precipitation getting ready to end here in the Des Moines area. It's moving to the northeast about 30 miles per hour. So we'll have the rain ending, cloudy skies, but more of this moving in later tonight.
Thank you very much, John. The stock market was sailing into record territory again today. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 39 points, another record close, the first ever above 6,300. NASDAQ was up 9 points. S&P 500 up 4 3/4 to another record there. New York gold down 2.30 an ounce, silver down a 7. And livestock markets today, cattle prices were steady, hogs 50 cents higher, and at Central Iowa Elevators, corn steady to a nickel lower, soybeans 1 to 6 cents lower.
And we'll be back here again tonight at 10 for an update on the weather and the rest of the day's news. We hope to see you then. Good night.